What's going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for being here. Starting a little early, something came up, so I had to start it about 20 minutes early. I was going to do this at 4, but nonetheless, we are here. I see people trickling in. I thank you all so very much for being here. Anybody that's watching the stream after the stream, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend with little old me and watching this video. Diving right into it, Dennis Schroder apparently wants to run it back with LeBron James, which is interesting. He's a guy that really dropped the bag, right? He's a guy that had a very hefty contract on the table, decided he was worth more than that, ended up leaving, and has been just on two teams in the last year. And he was in the lab, working out, all that stuff. LeBron leaves a tweet. He responds. He's like, basically that he wants to run it back. So now Schroder, I don't think he would be if he would accept his role. That's the big problem. Like, would he accept his role as a backup? Because he's not going to start, right? Whether we have Kyrie or we have Westbrook, he's probably not starting. Maybe if we get Kyrie, you can make the argument. Maybe just from a defensive standpoint, he could start. But you're probably in the best position to have him come off the bench, be that sixth man, and allow that to kind of keep running. So I'm not completely against Dennis Schroder coming back to the Lakers. The problem is we just have so many guards. I don't know how well he would fit. Now, if we do a trade, where we're, it's like a 2-for-1, 3-for-1 trade, and we get like Buddy Hield, and say we get Kyrie Irving, that trade ends up playing out, and now it's like, okay, well, we could use another guard. Then okay, cool, like bring Dennis Schroder on. I just have a lot of concerns with just his locker room presence. They didn't end in a very pleasant manner. It wasn't like the Lakers and Schroder just were like, oh yeah, you know what? Hey, no hard feelings, nowhere. No, it was a pretty big thing. So would he come back and buy in? Going to come back with the intention of being, that fit his role. Like, is he going to be willing to sacrifice and do what is necessary for the team? I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a really good player. He's still very young. He's a guy that could make an impact on the court if he buys into his position. And that's the thing. Will he buy in to being that backup point guard position? Because I just don't see where he starts. Because obviously, if we have Westbrook, Westbrook's going to be the point guard. If we have Kyrie, Kyrie's going to be the point guard. If we end up with neither of them and we end up going another direction, LeBron James is probably going to be the point guard, right? Go back to the 2020 route where you have LeBron at point guard, you have two wings, you have Anthony Davis, and you have Thomas Bryant. That could end up being the route that they end up going with this team. So I just don't know where Dennis Schroder would fit in. Is he going to come in and demand a starting role? Obviously he'd be a vet minimum guy. So if he's, it'd be a low risk, high reward acquisition for Dennis Schroder. So I wouldn't be completely against it. It's just, it wouldn't be my first choice. It wouldn't be like, oh, this is the guy that I think the Lakers need to expedite and go get. Like, you can get Dennis Schroder on a minimum, like go do that. It's not something that I'm jumping for joy over, So, but yeah, let's see what we got in the chat here. As far as Schroder, he could be a good backup to Kyrie. Yes, so I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like, if he'd be willing to kind of buy in, play his role, play his part, I wouldn't be completely against it. But the thing is that, like, as of right now, you still have Kendrick Nunn, you have Austin Reeves, we have plenty of guys that kind of fit the mold of the backup. And if we get Kyrie, then I think that it just depends on what goes out. Like we'd still have THT. Like if we still like say we get Kyrie, we still have THT, Kendrick Nunn, Austin Reeves, guys like that, LeBron James and things like that. I don't know where he'd fit in because now he's like the third or fourth guy off the bench for guards, backup guards. Although Schroder could play the 1 or the 2 spot, so that could be, a guy that could play multiple positions. I just don't know if he fits. But if let's say we get Kyrie, and then we trade, THT, Kendrick Nunn, Wynn, and Gabriel to say the Pacers for Buddy Hield. Just the thought. let's say that deal actually does end up happening. Well, then we just got rid of 2 guards and a wing, but we're good there. Okay, let's go get one more guard. Maybe we give Schroder a chance, and now he could kind of be the backup point guard in that deal. If we go that route, I wouldn't be against it. Said Lakers not dead yet. Yeah, so the Kyrie deal. I mean, there hasn't been any major headway yet. Either way, there hasn't. Yesterday was a chaotic day for the Kyrie Irving trade and just all the reports and everything. 1 minute, Kyrie is coming to Lakers. Next minute, Russell Westbrook is splitting ways. Next minute, Kevin Durant wants Russell Westbrook out of the Nets and wants and that was the reason he opted out. And it's like, what? And then it's like Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook sat down and they worked it out and they kissed and hugged and said, my bad, and all is right in the world again, and they're going to run it back and all that stuff. And yesterday was just a cluster of just misinformation and just conflicting reports and just chaos. It was impossible to keep up, right? And it's just, and this is where we're at as far as like the issues with this trade. Because it's like, we have so many different people saying so many different things. And it's like, it's hard to know like which report is accurate, which one is just the Lakers or the Nets throwing it out there to gain some traction, things along those lines. So as far as like the trade being dead, I mean, we haven't heard anything. My biggest thing is if the deal was done, either way, like let's say it was dead, let's say it really was dead and it wasn't going to happen, or let's say that the deal was completely dead and the Nets were going to keep them. Why haven't we gotten that either way? Like, why would they drag this out? It makes more sense to drag it out if there's something in the works, and it's been reported on several occasions that the both sides have an understanding. That doesn't necessarily mean the deal's done, could mean it's done. They're just kind of exploring, waiting it out. The thing is, for the Nets, they know what the Lakers are going to give and what they can give and what they're willing to offer. The trade isn't going to change, right? The deal's going to be there a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. No matter what, that same deal is always going to be on the table. So from a Nets standpoint, why not? You have a month and a half before you got to make a decision. Why not take your time and draw it out, see what happens? Just like how the Lakers, they're buying their time. They're being patient. They're doing the right thing. I know it's frustrating. I know people want the deal just done already, stuff like that. But they're smart by just being patient. Because look what happened yesterday. If the Dave McMahon report is true and it is accurate, that is huge for the Lakers. Because that means it's not just Kyrie Irving wants out. It's not just Cy, the owner, wants Kyrie gone. It's not that. It's just Kevin Durant wants him gone. And the whole reason Kevin Durant opted or decided to request a trade was because he wanted Kyrie Irving gone. And there are a couple signs that could be for starters. Why would he opt out, or not opt out, but why would he request a trade immediately after Kyrie Irving signs? Like, it wasn't like a day, a week later. It was literally like the same day. It was like hours later. He requests a trade from the time that he opted out. Or that Kyrie opted in, right? So that's a good sign. 2, he spoke to Cy, just him and him, man to man, and told him that he wanted to be traded and why he wanted to be traded. And shortly after, Cy talks about how he just, that he'd rather have a team that has 40 wins than the team he has now. He wants people to show up. You saw the presser at the end of the season where they're just kind of talking about like, we need everybody to buy in and be willing to the team, and kind of just throwing Kyrie under the bus and all that stuff. I think it makes a lot of sense. And if that's true, that is huge for the Lakers. But this is why the Lakers are smart, by being patient and just waiting to see what happens, wait and see what develops, because this kind of stuff comes out and that just gives the Lakers more ammunition and more, and more leverage. Whether it's true or not, you still have that. Hey, man, like, what's going on? Kevin Durant wants Kyrie gone. I thought they were buddies. What happened? I thought you were keeping him. I thought, a week ago, you guys put out a report that said that the two of them were going to stay and they were going to work it out. They, that they kissed and made up And now the word is that, Kyrie's gone and KD wants him out. It gives them more ammunition. It gives them more leverage. Again, whether it's true or not, it's still something that they can use to say, hey, look, here it is. Like, here you go. It's beneficial for the Lakers. We've already had Schroder. He sucks. No way. Yes. So here's the thing. Like, I mean, I don't think Schroder sucks, but the situation with Schroder was very different. So the original reason that they got Schroder was because LeBron wanted to play off the ball more, and LeBron didn't want to have to handle all the ball handling duties like the year prior. Right in the bubble, he was the point guard. He was the one that was handling everything. He didn't mind playing point guard, in the playoffs or in the clutch, things like that. But in an 82 game season, he didn't want to have to, put up 30, distribute the ball, have to basically get a triple double every night for them to win. So he wanted them to go get a playmaking point guard, and Dennis Schroder, they were able to acquire and make that work. Problem is, Dennis Schroder, I mean, in his press conference, he was talking about, I'm going to start, I'm the best point guard on this team. I mean, he was just chirping like from day one. And there was reports from day one that, Schroder thinks he's a little bigger than he is. That Schroder thinks he's the star, thinks that he's a star player in this league, and all this, that, and the other. And it was like, okay, well, they're just kind of coasting, they're doing their thing, all that stuff. And then what happened at the end of the season? Schroder, he gets a contract. He says, this isn't star money. What is this? This is an insult. I can get more money elsewhere. And look what happened. He fumbled the bag tremendously. I don't think Schroder is bad. I think Schroder could be one of the best backup guards in the league. I mean, he's still young enough. He still plays defense. He provides a lot to a team if he's willing to buy into his role and play the part and commit. That's the big question. Right now, it doesn't make sense for Schroder because, like I was mentioning earlier, we have so many guards on this team. We don't need another one. But if we end up doing a deal where we end up unloading Kendrick Nunn and THT and a couple other people, well, then, now it makes more sense to go grab another guard, right? Like, okay, like we just, shipped out 3 guards. Like, we could use another one. Okay, in that case, then yes, maybe Schroder is an option. Low risk, high reward. You get him for a veteran minimum, comes in, he plays. If he buys into his role, I think he can be very solid. I think he's a guy that can contribute. He could be your backup guard off the bench. He could play the 2 guard in certain spots, certain positions. He can be pesky on defense. He is a guy that can get you, 15 to 20 a game if he gets the opportunity. That is the big difference. So I just think the circumstances would be different this time. And I think Schroder would know. Like, it wasn't the Lakers. Also, it's an ego thing. Like, the Lakers went and got me. I was over in OKC. I was balling out. I was 6th man of the year, all this stuff. Lakers came and got me because they need me, because they want me. This time, it's the tables flipped. Like, hey, man, we don't need you or want you. But, if you want to come on a vet minimum, we could use the depth. We could use the help. You want to come in and play your role? Perfect. Come in, play your role, and let's make this deal happen. Something like that, I wouldn't be completely opposed to. If there was a trade for Kyrie, what package do we give up for him, or what teams get involved? So I think very likely it's going to be a 3-team deal. And that could even be what's holding it up, because 3-team deals are extremely difficult. I mean, the Lakers had a 3-team deal locked up, ready to go. They were in the process of submitting the papers, and the Knicks dropped the ball. The Lakers were going to get Cam Reddish last year. It was a Toronto Knicks and Lakers trade, and the Knicks just completely botched it at the very end. And everyone was like, what is going on here? So any multi-team deals become very difficult. It becomes very hard. So that could be a thing. But so most likely, I think it'll be something like the Spurs, maybe the Jazz, the Knicks. I think the Knicks, that is the number 1 team we need to look out for. Because if they get Donovan Mitchell, then they're willing to take on Russell Westbrook and unload contracts. I think that could be huge for the Lakers, because very likely the Lakers might be able to get a 1st-round pick in that. And some of you might be listening to this and go, what? Like, why would the Knicks give up? Because the Lakers are in a position, New York needs to move off that cap. If they go get Donovan Mitchell, they have to re-sign Barrett, all that stuff. They need to move off of Randall. They need to move off of Fournier. Derrick Rose is an asset. I don't think they have a difficult time getting off of Derrick Rose. But Julius Randle's getting a brand new contract, 4 years on his deal, and he was terrible last year. Not a lot of teams that are going to give up a lot for him. Evan Fournier, role guy, hit and miss, that kind of thing, still got years on his contract. So a deal around Russell Westbrook for Evan Fournier, Julius Randle, and Derrick Rose, the Knicks are going to have to give up a first. They likely don't have to give up one of their firsts, but they do have a treasure trove of like other teams' first and stuff like that. You give the less favorable one, and now that gives the Lakers more assets to go acquire Kyrie Irving, right? You don't want Russell Westbrook. We're going to send Russell Westbrook over here to the Knicks. We're getting back another first. So we'll tell you what, we'll give you one of our firsts. We'll give you the first that we get in this deal. Here you go. And then take your pick. We got Julius Randle, we got Derrick Rose, and we got Evan Fournier. Do you want all of them? Do you want 2 of them? What do you want? Let's work it out. And then they end up, making that deal happen. You end up, let's say the Nets are like, okay, well, we'll take your first, we'll take the second first, we'll take Julius Randle, and we'll take Evan Fournier, or maybe Derrick Rose. If they're losing Kyrie Irving, they're not getting Russell Westbrook. Derrick Rose might be a good asset for them because now they have that other point guard that is not as good as Kyrie, but it offers a lot of the same things. So I think the Knicks are a serious team to look out for as far as that goes. But we'll see. But most likely, I think it'll likely be a first, a pick swap. Probably they'll throw in a second for good measure, and then it'll probably be Russell Westbrook and maybe like a THT or something like that, something along those lines. I think the Lakers, when all is said and done, I don't think they'll give up both first. I think they'll give up one. I think if it absolutely comes down to it, push comes to shove, they will give up both first. But I think very likely once the deal is done and we look at it, it'll probably be something. It'll probably be one first, like I said, a pick swap, and then maybe a second, and because that's basically what the Lakers are offering right now: one first round, a pick swap, and a second with Russell Westbrook. But I think Russ very likely goes to another team. There was a source that said one first round pick and a few seconds. Yeah, so that's kind of like what's on the table right now. We'll give you a couple seconds. We'll give you one first round. I think that what'll end up happening is like they'll play hardball and then the Lakers say, okay, we'll give you a pick swap. I just think when it's all said and done, very likely, I don't think they give up both first. I think because they want to keep the other first because they want to go get a Buddy Hield or something like that. And I just don't think that they're going to mess that up. What is going on, Marcus? Appreciate you being here. Thank you all so much. And all of you, thank you all so much for being here. Also, since you're here, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. It really does. Helps during the live stream, helps after the live stream. Hit that like button if you haven't hit it yet. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Trying to get to 1,000 subs. We're steadily getting there. Once I get to 1,000 subs, I can do a lot more on this channel, have a lot more freedom, stuff like that. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I appreciate all you beautiful people. I'm glad Schroder's going to take that $80 million offer. Yes, thanks, Schroder. I'm with you, Rich. I mean, who knows where we'd be right now with that. Everything works out. Everything works out for a reason. So, but like I said, I wouldn't mind bringing Schroder back if it's a vet minimum deal and depending on how everything shapes up. Like I wouldn't bring him back right now. I just think we have too many guards. The last thing we need is a guard. We need another wing guy, if anything, which is easier said than done because the whole league wants wing guys and needs wing guys. But I just think, but like I said, if you do a deal to where you're giving out, THT and Kendrick Nunn, then it's like, okay, well, maybe we could benefit from, one more guard. It's not very smart. This waiting can backfire. You guys will wait for Kyrie and the team will not be able to get others reinforcements and Kyrie will remain in the end. Just imagine. I mean, it's always possible, but here's the problem is that like there's nobody else. Like it only works if somebody else finally comes up. Like right now, there is no backfire for the Lakers, but we're starting to see all of these like implosions with the Nets. Like, so the Lakers are being smart by just being patient. And yes, something could always come up, and that might be what the Nets are waiting for. The Nets might be hoping that, somebody, a player gets hurt or something happens or a team just feels like they're not good enough to compete or, whatever. And they're like, well, we'll come in. But right now it is only the Lakers. Like we haven't heard anything about any other team. And the two teams that were brought up, the Sixers and the Mavs, as soon as they were brought up, both teams were like, no, Absolutely no way. Not happening. We do not want that guy. Keep that guy as far away from us as possible. So things can only blow up in your face if there's other reasons. It's supply and demand. You're something is only worth what somebody is willing to pay for it. And so if I want Kyrie Irving and I'm the only one that wants him, then I set the market. Like otherwise keep him. You're going to lose him in a year. And then we get to keep everything. We get to keep all our assets. Like what would you rather have? And you run the risk of Kyrie just being a headache and imploding your team. And if the report is true that Kevin Durant really wants Kyrie gone, and that's the reason he requested the trade, now what? And I'm not saying that is true, but that becomes huge for the Lakers if that is true. The Nets are never going to come out and publicly say that because then there goes all negotiations. Now the Lakers at that point are like, all right, now it's just Westbrook, Joe Harris, and Kyrie straight up. You lose all your leverage at that point. But I think most likely it'll probably get drawn out for a little while. But I just don't see where the Lakers have it backfire, at least at this point. Nothing happens. Worst case scenario, they miss out on him this year, and then he just signs with them next year, and you keep all your assets. LeBron might not be happy about that, but it's like, dude, we got your guy in Westbrook last year. We were going to go get Buddy Hield. We were going to sign DeMar DeRozan. We were good, but no, you wanted Russell Westbrook, so you got to deal with him for a year, and then we'll go get your buddy Kyrie, let the Nets play hardball. The Nets have everything to lose, right? The Lakers have nothing. They're stuck with the team they have now. Okay. That was their plan before the Kyrie thing came to light. Yeah. See, adds to my thing. Have zero interest in takes for Kyrie. Yeah. That's the problem is that, you only have leverage when there's other deals on the table. When I'm the only one that wants what you have, you don't really have leverage. Yeah, you can keep it, but you're going to lose it. I think the plan is that if they can't trade Westbrook, they'll buy him out, waive him, and then bring in Schroder on a minimum to replace him. That could be a possibility. But here's my thing: at that point, you're almost better off running it with Westbrook and just seeing if Darvin Ham can make it happen, because LeBron James and Anthony Davis are very likely going to miss 20 plus games this year. So it would be nice to have Westbrook in that pinch. Your hope is Darvin Ham can kind of let him try to fit in, try to find a way to make him work, kind of, try to make the puzzle fit. And then if it doesn't work, then you could buy him out or have him just go home and sit. But Westbrook, he's not a guy that's going to sit. So he's going to play. He's on an expiring contract, so he's going to need to show I'm that guy. That was the whole reason for the agent. That's where the conflict lied, right? His agent was like, dude, just stay with the Lakers, ride it out for a year, do whatever is asked of you, and then you get a new contract next year. But if you cause problems, if you want to get traded, if you be a headache, you're on 4 teams in 4 years, you're going to end up being on 5 teams in 5. It's just not a good look. You don't want to do that. And that team's going to waive you, and then you're going to go to another team, and now you're on 6 teams in 5 years. So ride it out with the Lakers, be smart, and let it happen. And Westbrook was like, I want to be traded. I don't want to be here. But if there's no other options, no other choices here, it's like, dude, you're here, you signed your contract, play it out. I just don't think it would make sense to buy him out. You're basically paying him to go home when you're better off trying to make it work. And LeBron, Anthony Davis, they're going to miss 30 games a season. And at least Westbrook, hopefully, with the pieces you have, he can at least keep you competitive in those games. Maybe you win a handful of those games, stuff like that. It's just, maybe a new coach. Because Westbrook, you got to remember, Westbrook was doing all the right things before this drama started, before the Kyrie. He showed up to Ham's press conference. He was fully committed, bought in. Ham's talking about, we had a phone conversation. He's ready to go. I want him to, focus his energy here and do this, that, and the other. And he was ready to go, and the problem was Westbrook just didn't like Vogel. Vogel didn't like Westbrook. Vogel never put Westbrook in a position to be successful. And I do think Westbrook would benefit from the 4-out, 1-in offense. because he could be the guy at times that is the one in. I just think at least gotta, like, if you're stuck with Westbrook, you might as well at least make it work, like at least try, and then see what happens. And then if it does, like say 2 months in, it's not working, it's like, okay, just send him home or buy him out or whatever. I don't think you want to waive him because then you're in a Lou Dane situation. But I think at that point you're probably best to just send him home and just hope that maybe a team wants a salary dump at the offseason. But Lakers don't want to end up losing their cap. That's the problem. You don't want to end up losing your salary cap. They're in a good position right now. I'd rather get Pat Bev than Buddy, since we would have Joe Harris in the Kyrie deal. I think it just depends on what happens in the Kyrie deal. But my problem is the reason I'd like to have Buddy over Pat Bev, and don't get me wrong, Pat Bev would be a great fit with Kyrie Irving. I think that he would be a pit bull. He's like the perfect prototype point guard for LeBron James. But I think that one, there's a lot of concerns and questions with Joe Harris, and two, even if we do get Joe Harris, the problem lies that you need more than just one shooter. So I think the Lakers would be smart to get both Buddy Hield and Joe Harris in that deal, personally. Schroder isn't bad at all as a backup. But if you remember the one Lakers season with Dennis, AD didn't like because he wasn't feeding him the ball. And say, if we get Kyrie, I don't think they'll like each other. So yeah, that's my biggest problem is like, what kind of Dennis Schroder are we getting? Are we getting a Dennis Schroder that's fully bought in? Is like, hey man, look, I learned my lesson. I messed up, dropped the bag. Hey, we're here. I want to make this work. I don't want to keep going to team after team, year after year. I want to find a place that I can call home. I'm willing to buy in. I'm here. Let's buy in. If we get that guy, cool. I think he would be great on a veteran minimum. If we get the guy that was here last time that, was big-headed in his press conference, like, I'm the starter, I'm that dude, I'm that guy, the guy that turned down $80 million. If we get that guy, no, I don't want to keep him as far away from me as possible. Keep him as far away from the Lakers as possible. I just think it depends on what Dennis Schroder we're getting. I think that the Lakers won't trade Westbrook, but will trade for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. So I am pretty confident the Miles Turner trade is not going to happen. I do believe that the Lakers can still get Buddy Hield, but the whole idea for the Indiana Pacers were, if we get DeAndre Ayton, then we can trade Miles Turner. Problem is they didn't get DeAndre Ayton, and so now if they trade Miles Turner, who's their center? They would have to get a center back in the deal. And I don't even think we could trade any of our centers till like January because we just signed them. So that's where the problem lies. I don't see the Pacers trading Turner unless it's something that's, like say trade deadline, we suck anyway. We might as well just tank. And, if we can get some assets for them, then let's do it. Something like that. Maybe that happens. There is no guarantee Kyrie is coming next season. That is very true, but I really like the odds. Where else is he going to go? Because the Lakers are going to be the only team that pays him. Now if he would go on like a vet minimum or like a taxpayer mid-level or a mid-level, then yes, I think many teams would be more willing to take Kyrie. But Kyrie wants big money. Nobody can pay him but the Lakers, and the teams that can pay him aren't going to want him, or he's not going to want to go to. It's the thing is that it's not like Kyrie has a bunch of options. Like Kyrie wants to go to the Lakers, yes, and he's forcing his way, and his team is telling everybody that'll listen, hey, he's going to the Lakers one way or another, all that stuff. He's trying to force his way to the Lakers, which is great. But he doesn't have suitors. Like there's not even a rumor. Like in the one rumor there was, immediately those teams were like, absolutely not, no way, no how, keep him away from me. Like, I just think that is very telling of Kyrie's market. People don't want the headache. People don't want the locker room drama, especially if you got young players and stuff like that. You don't want Kyrie anywhere near your team. So I just think that the chances of Kyrie coming back to the Lakers is really high. Like, so I would rather take their chance. And if not, you still have like $100 million in cap space. Like, right. So like, even if Kyrie doesn't come, you have enough money to go get another star or something like that, regardless, even if it's not Kyrie, so why not? Like, I don't see how he doesn't end up a Laker sooner rather than later. You think Westbrook can be effective with the new young roster like he did with the Wizards? I do. If here's the thing, like I know a lot of people love to trash Westbrook and all that stuff and things like that, but like, and he was a problem. I'm not trying to say he wasn't. He was absolutely a problem, but he wasn't the only problem. Like people like to make it seem like Westbrook was this just like he was the only reason the Lakers didn't win a championship. No, that team was terrible and there were so many problems and Westbrook was never put in a position to succeed. The whole reason they brought Westbrook over was to alleviate LeBron because they knew LeBron was going to miss 20 games and they knew LeBron didn't want to handle the ball duties. Yet every time Westbrook was in the game, LeBron was in the game. Like the whole point of you getting Westbrook was to help LeBron, and yet you didn't do that. How many times do we see Frank Vogel have Rondo, LeBron, and Westbrook in the game at the same time for extended periods of the game? Where in the world does that make sense? And then when Rondo left, how many times was it THT, Russell Westbrook, and LeBron James on the court at the same time? They're the same player. They all do the same things. It is a terrible disaster. Now, if you put Westbrook in a position, I really believe, and we saw this the times that LeBron and Anthony Davis didn't play. We saw Russell Westbrook be that dude still, that 30-point triple-double guy. And people forget, and I'm glad you brought up the Wizards because I've tried to stress this to people. A year ago, Westbrook was a 30-point triple-double guy, and him and Bradley Beal were able to take the Wizards with like nobody on to the playoffs. I mean, that was as far as it went, but still, and I think if you put Westbrook in a position to succeed, he'll succeed. I think if you give Westbrook, you just say, hey, we'll start you so that way you feel good, your ego is better. We'll have LeBron in the game for like 5 minutes. We're going to take him out. You have 5 minutes to just go off and just be Russell Westbrook. I just need you have you're going to have 5 minutes a quarter to just be Russell Westbrook. Do whatever you want. You be you. I really believe we will see a completely different Russell Westbrook next year. LeBron only has to play like, 25, 30 minutes a game. Westbrook only has to play 25, 30 minutes a game. And you divvy up their time. I think that would be the best approach for them to do that. When LeBron sits, Westbrook, this is your show. Make it happen. I really think you'd see a different Westbrook. I really believe, and I could be wrong, I really believe that wherever Westbrook ends up, he's going to be that 30-point triple-double guy again. I'm not saying he's not without fault. He absolutely was with fault. Like he definitely was part of the problem, but he wasn't the only problem. Like, what other moves do the Lakers make other than Kyrie? I would like to see them go after Clarkson and Pat. So I wouldn't mind, I've seen a lot of people throwing out, which I don't think is a terrible idea. Clarkson, with Buhan and Pat. I don't think that's terrible. The problem is his salary. The Lakers want to preserve their salary, and that's the big thing. That's why they don't want Joe Harris in that deal, stuff like that. Now, everyone except for Clarkson is a free agent, so that would make sense. Clarkson, it comes into the guard thing again is my problem because the Lakers have nothing but guards right now. And do you really want to add 2 more guards to that? I just think it would be a conflict. I do think the Buddy Hield is very likely. The Buddy Hield trade is very likely. Could be wrong about that, but I do think the Lakers make another move. I wouldn't be surprised if the move is something wasn't even reported. We didn't even think of, just came out of the woodwork. I could see something like that happening as well. What makes you think the Lakers will win with Kyrie? I don't necessarily think that they'll win a champ. They're definitely a contender. I mean, Kyrie, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James all healthy, that's a contender. Whether you like the Lakers or not, that's a contender. Seriously, what better trio in the NBA is better than those 3? And they would be a perfect complementary fit. LeBron can just play the Magic Johnson role. Kyrie gets to just be Kyrie. Anthony Davis, if he can be that dominant force, they are a contender. I think even with Kyrie, none of it matters unless Anthony Davis is bubble Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is the key with or without Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving and LeBron James, don't get me wrong, are great. I think that they can make some noise. I think that they would be scary together. But Anthony Davis, if you want to talk about being a legit contender, Anthony Davis is that key. No dominant Anthony Davis, I don't think the Lakers win. Lakers are at least in the playoffs. And then once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. But I I'm not like, oh, Lakers are a lock, championship, here it comes, banner 18, let's get it up. Like, no, it's not like that. But I do have a lot of faith that they're a legit contender. There's no way around that. You can't say that they're not with those three. Even if the team stands pat the way it is. DM, thank you so much. Yes, please like the stream, everyone. It was a great time for the plug. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I'm like 220 subs or whatever away from 1,000. Once I get to 1,000 subs, I'll really be able to do a lot more. I'll have a lot more freedom and access to things here on this channel to provide you better live streams, just content, things like that. It's free to subscribe. So if you could subscribe and then, of course, like this video, because it really does help during this video and it helps after this video. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you're not, if you haven't liked this video, please like this video. It would mean a ton to me. And thank you so much, DM, for throwing that in the chat. I really appreciate that. And everyone, thank you all so much for being here. I mean, we got 290 people in the chat. Unbelievable. Thank you. Thank you all. Kyrie has more options than we think, especially if he plays great this season. If nobody wants him, why don't the Nets get rid of him? They are asking for more than we think of him. Because how do you just get rid of him when the Lakers are the only team that wants him? You know, like they don't want to just give him away. If the Nets didn't want to if the Nets really weren't considering the Lakers and trading Kyrie at all, why don't the Nets just come out and just say, it's not happening, guys? Sorry, I hate to break it to you. We're keeping Kyrie. We're going to run it back for a year. No problem. All of this would immediately go away. You know, there's the end of the discussion. But no, they're still working out the deal, stuff like that. It just, you could argue it from the other side. They're like, and the problem is like, okay, if there is other options, where are they? How come none of them are coming out of the woodworks? And even if Kyrie does play great, he hasn't done that in 3 years. Everything, all signs point to Kyrie Irving being a total disaster for the Nets. Now, is it possible that he's not? Of course. Maybe he buys in, he shows face for a year because he wants to get a big contract and everything's great. But even then, you think teams aren't going to recognize that? You think teams don't know that? You think teams are going to want to give Kyrie Irving a max deal? The only reason the Lakers want to give him a deal and want to get him is because they have LeBron James. If the Lakers didn't have LeBron James, I don't think they'd go anywhere near Kyrie Irving. But I think the logic is Kyrie wants to be a Laker. He's obsessed and loves Kobe Bryant. He's in a place he wants to be to. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder and want to prove that he's that dude still. And we got LeBron James to keep him in check. A guy that he respects, a guy that he won a championship, all of those things. I think all of those things are a factor in this trade. That's why no one else wants him. Kyrie is better than Westbrook, waiting on the Lakers to give up a draft pick along with Westbrook. I mean, Kyrie is definitely, at this point, better than Westbrook. But here's the thing. I mean, you could be the best player in the world, but if you don't show up, it doesn't matter. And that's people's problem. It's not that Kyrie Irving isn't talented. It's not that Kyrie Irving isn't a star in this league. It's just, can I count on you? That's the problem. Like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, by most, is considered the greatest player ever. If he only played 20 games a year, or just took years off or whatever, like, you think he'd still be considered the greatest player ever? No. Like, that's the problem. Yeah, Lakers are holding up the deal, absolutely, because they don't want to include 2 first round. Why? Like, okay, let's say I have this cup of water, right? Well, you can't really. Okay, I have this cup of water, right? Yummy water. It's delicious. It's amazing. You want this water. You are loving this water. You could use some water, all of that stuff, right? I'm willing to sell you this water. Does anyone else want this water? No. Well, I do. I want the water. Okay. Like, okay. Well, I want $1,000 for this water. Okay, but is it worth $1,000? Like, where's the demand? Does anyone else want the water? No one else wants the water. So why is it $1,000? Well, I say the water's $1,000. Okay, that's great. But eventually that water is going to evaporate. Eventually that water, you're going to drink it. Eventually that water is going to go away and you're going to lose that water for nothing. I'm willing to give you $500. Yeah, I understand you want $1,000, but I'm going to lose this water. Would you rather take the $500 for the water, or do you want to be stubborn and take the $1,000 and you lose the water? And where's somebody else? Who else wants the water? The demand is only what is the market says it is. If the market says that this water is worth nothing, then guess what? The water is worth nothing. That's what the holdup is. If you're the Lakers, you are negotiating with nobody but yourself. Why would you ante up yourself? It's like playing poker and you're the only one that just keeps throwing money into the pot. Everyone's just like, okay, dude, like, here, just take the pot. Like that's like, it would be stupid for the Lakers to do anything other than just sit pat, be quiet, and just be happy. The problem is that Westbrook said he doesn't care about winning. That's the problem. Why true Laker fans don't want this trash. I mean, he does care about winning. he just is in he's just not happy. People say shit when they're happy. But I don't believe for a second Westbrook doesn't care about winning. The guy wants to play 82 games. The guy would have played 82 games this year if it wasn't for the Lakers making him sit at home. We are not getting Kyrie. I mean, we'll see. It's very possible. But like I said, if the Kyrie deal, like all these people really like all talk about how the deal's dead, it's not going to happen, you're wishful thinking, all that stuff. Why haven't the Nets just came out and said that thing? All of this would go away entirely if the Nets just said, we're not trading Kyrie. The Lakers are the only team that wants Kyrie. If they really didn't want to trade him to the Lakers and they had no intentions of trading him to the Lakers, wouldn't they just say, we're not trading him to the Lakers? We don't care. We'll lose him for nothing before that. We'll ride it out this year and we'll see what happens. In the discussion, it's over. But no, they're not doing that. So obviously, the Nets have the intentions of trading Kyrie Irving. They want to trade Kyrie Irving. They have the intentions of trading Kyrie Irving. Whether it happens, you never know. Things change. But that's why I believe it's a matter of when, not if. Because the Nets could just make all of this go away. Focus on Kevin Durant. He didn't average 30 for the season. Those was empty stats. Wait, you talk about this season or you talk about with the Wizards? He averaged 27 with the Wizards, and he had a triple-double. I believe he had a triple-double, or was just shy of a triple-double average that season. With the Lakers this year, he averaged 19. But what I said was the games that Anthony Davis and LeBron James weren't there, he was a 30-point game guy. I mean, he almost single-handedly won that one game. I don't remember who it was against, but like we were getting smacked, and Westbrook just completely took over, hit a couple threes, hit a couple clutch buckets, just completely took over in the fourth. We saw Westbrook could still be that guy. He's just the third option, and it's not options that fit. I mean, how many times did we see Westbrook just get relegated to standing in the corner? Like how are you supposed to be effective? And I know, like, a lot of people talk about, like, the layups and stuff like that. Yeah, that absolutely bothers me and drives me crazy too. But there's a reason players warm up. There's a reason players get reps in. There's a reason players get in rhythm, because you need that to be effective in games. And when you are a guy like Russell Westbrook, who's 100% nonstop, and for 15-minute stretches, your job is to stand in the corner and do nothing, and then we give you the ball and we want you to turn it on, it's not that easy. It's not that easy to just go from 0 to 100 immediately. Like the whole game, I've been standing here doing nothing but bringing the ball up, and now you want me to go get you 20 points? Like, it's not that easy, and people don't take all of those things into account. That's the Lakers' fault. He said that before he joined. The Lakers doesn't care about 8 championships. The Lakers absolutely care about you. You don't get to 17 championships without the Lakers, without not caring about championships. Russell Westbrook will be bigger and better this year. Triple double machine, go Brody. I do. I really think wherever he ends up, I think he's going to be great. No stars will be available in free agency. I mean, you never know. You don't know that. There's a long time between now and next year. Now, a lot of the stars that would have been available did sign extensions and stuff, but you never know. You never know. Every year we hear of 2 or 3 players, 2 or 3 stars that won out, all of that stuff. You hear it time and time again. Every year it's somebody new, and the probability of it continuing is very high, very likely, so it's just, and the Lakers don't even need, like, if they have $100 million, they don't even need another star. If you sign LeBron James and you still have $60-70 million, you could just go get a bunch of like mid-tier guys, and just really upgrade the roster. Go get a bunch of like really solid guys. LeBron James and Anthony Davis proved they can win a championship with the right pieces around them. So $100 million, Anthony Davis and LeBron James, or $80 million with LeBron. You have something like that. You have $80 million, LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You're in a pretty good position regardless, whether Kyrie stays or not. I think you're just talking yourself into accepting the possibilities that Kyrie is not coming. This is not going to work with Russ. I mean, I don't necessarily think it will, but I think you at least try. If you're left with no choice, what else is there? Are you really going to pay the guy to just sit at home and do nothing? Like, you're probably just as bad, but your hope is that maybe you can make it work, and then what happens? Okay, let's say you buy out Westbrook and you send him home or whatever, right? And LeBron James and Anthony Davis miss a 10-game stretch. Now you're out of the playoffs. At least if you have Westbrook, you have a guy that is going to play, is going to show up. Like, assuming you don't get Kyrie, assume you don't get anything. I believe Kyrie Irving's coming to Lakers. I have been very open, very adamant, very public about that, even through all the criticism, all that stuff. I just think it's inevitable. I think it's a matter of when, not if. And I could be completely wrong. Just some dude on the internet, just some dummy that comes on, do live streams, and talk to you people. I'm not an insider. I don't know nothing. I just think all the writing is on the wall as far as Kyrie Irving coming to Lakers. I could be misreading it. I could be wrong. But I think worst case scenario, if you're stuck with Russ, you got to at least try. At least try to run it out and see what happens. 2 months into it, if it's not working, send them home. But how do you know it won't work unless you at least try? Kyrie will not be going to Lakers. We'll see. We will see. Just bring back Schroder. I don't know. Like I said, I think it depends on which Schroder you're getting. If you're getting a bought-in Schroder, if you're getting a Schroder that is willing to accept his role and come in and do the grindy work and, get you 10 to 15 points a game and, play some defense and be a backup, I'm all for that. If we get the Schroder that was on the Lakers last time, keep him as far away from me as possible. But AD just has to stay healthy and he will have an MVP season. I agree. Like I said, I really believe Anthony Davis is the key. I think Anthony Davis is the X factor. I do. I think that's the only way. Why preserve your salary cap with no good free agents? So the alternative is to take in bad contracts that in 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, even if they don't get any free agents next year, like you want to have, what happens if the following year there's good players? What happens if somebody free is available? And we don't know who's going to be available between now and next year. The smart thing to do, it's good to have money. Like, so, okay, Will, like, do you just, like, when you get a paycheck, do you just spend it all immediately, or do you hold on to it and save a little bit in case, something happens, a bill comes up, or, you got to fix something, or, maybe something comes available that you want to buy, it's the same thing. It's the same logic. I'm not going to spend all my money, because what happens if something great, what if I get a great offer, a great deal, something like that? What happens if something later on comes up that becomes a problem and I need to fix it? Like, that's why. If Kyrie joins, who's going to be the second best player in the team? So personally, I think if Kyrie comes, it'll be the Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis show. LeBron James will play the Magic Johnson role, because LeBron James is smart enough, skilled enough, and good enough to where he's going to get his 20 points just by being on the court. Whether it's through putbacks, knocking down shots, just putting his head down, getting to the basket 5 times. There you go, a couple hand ones. You're at your 20 points. So I think most likely what will happen, LeBron James will be the Magic Johnson. He'll distribute. Kyrie will kind of, Kyrie will be able to be Kyrie and run the show because he can shoot. And that's the key. Like, I think LeBron would do that with Westbrook if Westbrook could shoot the ball. Problem is, he can't. So it's like, now you got 2 people that can't really shoot very well. And although LeBron has improved tremendously last year as a shooter, still he's not a lights out shooter. So I think that's where the problem lies. But with Kyrie, yeah, Kyrie could play on the ball, he can play off the ball. Anthony Davis, I think he'll get his touches. I think LeBron will take a step back, which makes the most sense. He's 38 years old. He's in his 20th season. He needs to save himself for the playoffs. So I think if you're LeBron, you would welcome that. Let me just be the distributor. Let me just be the Magic Johnson role. You guys go and you guys do the heavy lifting. You know, and then even stretches. Where Kyrie sits. You have LeBron. You can interchange them, stuff like that. LeBron will still get his 20 a game. The thing is he won't have to score 30 a game for the Lakers to win. That'll be the benefit. I don't know. I mean, look, last year a lot of people talk about Anthony Davis last year. A lot of people talk about Anthony Davis, period. But he's played more minutes. He's played more games than half of the stars in the league. Like, go look it up. He's played more minutes than Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Ben Simmons, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. Like, literally, like half the stars in the league. Anthony Davis, for as injury prone as he is, has played in the last 3 years, has played more games than like half of the stars in the league. The last few years, we've had a crazy run of stars being injured. Every team, for the most part, has had. I mean, Giannis missed extended periods. Ja missed extended periods. I mean, Steph missed extended periods. A lot of these guys, everybody's missing time. It's not just Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis came back and was monstrous. Like the 3 games or whatever he was back, he was averaging like 30 and 12 a game. And then he had somebody just fall into his ankle. Like, that's not his fault. Like, that's just a freak accident. Some of his stuff, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But, the second scorer has to be Kyrie himself. Yeah, like I said, most likely, I really think that LeBron will just be he'll be the point guard. He'll be the Magic Johnson role. You let Davis go be Davis. You let Kyrie be Kyrie, and then you just kind of get your 20 points sparingly. I wouldn't be surprised if there's games where LeBron scores 10 points. Just because it's at this point in his career. And he only needs to average like 12 points a game or something like that this season to pass Kareem. So I don't think he's worried about that. So I think it's just a big benefit. Nets want draft picks from the Lakers, $47 million, not worth it by himself. Yeah, and they very likely will get. They're not going to get 2 of them. Again, what's your other options? What is your other choice? What else is there? And at a $47 million expiring contract is a lot. You get to move off of Joe Harris, so you get to free up more salary space, salary space, stuff like that. Is LeBron the only true leader in the NBA? I mean, I wouldn't say he's the only true leader, but he's definitely a leader for sure. If Lakers don't make this trade and LeBron leaves, they will go back to what they were. Not big name free agencies are coming to LA. But here's the thing, like, where's LeBron going to go? Like, seriously, there's a couple things that go into this. So, one, LeBron didn't go to the Lakers for basketball reasons. That was very clear and very abundant. And when LeBron went to the Lakers, that was what all the conversations were. When he was a free agent, there were legit contenders that could have gotten him and would have gotten him if he wanted to go and compete for more championships. He knew, I'm getting to the end of my career. They have a bunch of young guys that I'm not going to win with, but maybe we could package them and go get another star. But I need to focus on life after basketball because I only have so many more years left. And he went to LA. He immediately got his foot in. He's getting all these brand deals, all these endorsements, all of this, that, and the other, and became a billionaire immediately. Now, he would have became a billionaire regardless, but it expedited the process, and he has all these connections and all this establishment for life after basketball. And then he was able to convince the Lakers to take all those assets and go get Anthony Davis, and he won a championship. Now, LeBron is 38 years old. He's going to be 39 years old by the time he's a free agent and teams can have him. What team is going to trade a bunch of assets to go get LeBron James? Because all the teams that would have cap space he's not going to want to go there, and they probably don't want him because they're rebuilding teams. All the teams that do have cap space and can be contenders all can't sign him outright unless he takes like a taxpayer mid-level, but he's not going to do that. And then what assets are they going to trade to go get LeBron James? I don't see LeBron James going anywhere until either his son's in the league, and that's not till 2025, or he decides I'm going to retire and he goes to the Cavs, signs a 1-year deal on a vet minimum, and then retires like many players do. Those are the only options I really see for LeBron James. Because again, where is he going to go? What is he going to do? What is the plan there? The Lakers can offer him the most money. The contract extension thing that there's report. Oh, I'm not going to sign a contract extension. He probably wasn't going to sign a contract extension anyway because he only has so many years left. He's not going to lock himself in for 4 years, especially if he wants to go play with his son, especially if he wants to go, if he wants to retire a Cav or something like that. From here on out, it's going to be 1+1s like he did with the Cavs. The Lakers know that. They're not stupid. Like, that's why. So I just, you'd still have Anthony Davis, and you're still in LA. Stars will always come here. Always. It happens. It might be another 5 years, something like that, but eventually you're going to have the cap space. Two people are going to be like, man, we'll go get those stars. Not just that, you'd have Anthony Davis to trade. If push comes to shove, and there's teams that would give quite a package for Anthony Davis, what else? Kawhi only plays 20 games a year. Exactly. People never mention him either. Like that guy, you want to talk about a liability, inconsistency, stuff like that. Kawhi is about as big as it gets. The only way my Lakers win a chip again, bubble needs to happen. Sad to say it, but I don't agree with that at all. You know what's funny is that like people clown the bubble championship, but every player, every newscaster, everybody that was in the bubble all talked about how it was the hardest series ever. The Clippers wanted to quit. The Clippers didn't even want to play. They wanted to quit. So you're talking about mental toughness, physical toughness, being away from your family, not being at home. You're talking about all these elements, being trapped in this little snow globe, all that stuff. Like people try to undervalue the bubble championship, but everybody who is important or everybody that lived through it or everybody that was anybody that knows what is going on all talked about how that was the toughest experience ever and that was the hardest playoff series ever. So why don't people talk about how the Lakers winning the bubble championship is the best championship ever? And guess what? If the Lakers didn't win it, every one of those other teams would be talking about how like, oh, there would be no question about it being the bubble championship. But it's because it's the Lakers. They have 17 rings. They won. They have LeBron James. People just love to talk smack about the bubble championship. Yet, again, anybody who's anybody all said the same thing. That was the hardest experience of my life. So, speaking of Anthony Davis, yeah, exactly. They can't stay healthy. Your team didn't win a bubble championship. Why not? Exactly. It's not like the Lakers went into the bubble by themselves. It's not like they were the only team that showed up and they were like, oh, here you go. Here's a trophy. They had to beat everybody, and they did. Like I said, teams wanted to quit. So, I mean, if we get Kyrie, I think it's a real possibility. Right now, as it stands, no pun intended. I don't know. I'm a little iffy on it. But you never know. I mean, you can't rule out Anthony Davis and LeBron James in a playoff series, especially if they're both healthy. But if they keep Kyrie, if they keep KD, and if the report is true that Kevin Durant does not want Kyrie on the Nets, then he's gone probably regardless. Exactly. Who else is in the running? There's only so many options. What is going on, Austin? I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Lake Show, what is up? Appreciate you. Thank you all so much for being here. And everybody that's here. A little shameless plug time. We got 427 people in the stream. If you haven't hit that like button, please hit that like button. It really helps me out a lot. Let's get this like up. It really does help the video now, and it helps after. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. I am only 200, little more than 200 subscribers away from hitting that grand total of 1,000. So if you could subscribe and you're not subscribed, I'd really appreciate it. I'd love to hit 1,000 subs. I'd have so much more access to things. Could really do a lot more. Really start improving and upgrading this channel. And I just started this channel like a month ago, so that'd be amazing. I'd really appreciate that if you could like this video and subscribe. Do you think the Lakers are going to get Eric Gordon? So I think Eric Gordon is I think he's the easiest asset to get. Like Buddy Hield, I think is going to take a bit. And I think that's why the Lakers are going to have difficulty. Eric Gordon, not really needed on the Rockets. Rockets might as well just get something for him. So I think Eric Gordon is likely the most obtainable of like the Buddy Hield, Eric Gordon type thing. But I think if they can, they'll get Buddy Hield. I think Buddy Hield is like the grand prize. And I don't even think it's necessarily like
Buddy Hield is this great. I think it's the the white whale thing, right? We should have gotten him last year. We didn't get him last year. Let's go. We can get him now. Let's go get him type thing. And then it's like it's the like show face, like, hey, look, Laker fans, we got Buddy Hield. We didn't get him last year, but guess what? We got him this year. Like, see, we did good, right? Like that's kind of how I feel like this is. I could be completely wrong, but just kind of how it seems personally. But I honestly, instead of giving up a bunch of assets, like to go get a guy like Eric Gordon or Buddy Hield, like I would rather just give Swider a chance. I mean, he shot 51, 52% in summer league, and I don't want to put too much in a summer league because summer league and an actual NBA game are two completely different things. But if he could just get to be, at like 38%, 38% to 40% of the NBA, which he will get better looks with LeBron and Anthony Davis than he did in the bubble. And so I just think like if he could be your dead eye shooter, like why not give him a shot? I mean, you need more than one shooter regardless. So even if they did get Eric Gordon, even if they did get Buddy Hield, like I still think you should give him a chance. He's 6'9", he's got size. He doesn't really play 6'9", but I mean he's a shooter, and he's got such a beautiful shot, man. That stroke and everything is just gorgeous. I think that they should at least take a chance, like give him a flyer, see how he goes. Now I understand like Eric Gordon, Buddy Hield, you probably want them for the experience. They're guys that have hit big shots and big moments, stuff like that. But I don't think like if push comes to shove, it's like, man, all we got left is Cole Swider. I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's bad. But what's the new? What is going on, Kenneth? Yeah, I mean, Dennis Schroder, to summarize, Dennis Schroder wants to maybe run it back with the Lakers. I don't know how I feel about that. Depends on what Schroder we get. If we get the I'll play the backup. I'll do what I need to do. I'll commit. I'll do the gritty work. I just want to be a part of the team. I'm all for that, Schroder. If it's the one we had last time where it's like, I'm a star, you need to treat me as a star, like I want big money, then yeah, that guy can go. Get rid of that guy. If Westbrook stopped taking threes, he wouldn't get as much. I agree. I mean, even if you're Westbrook, I think if you have the open shot, you got to take it. If you're wide open for three, you got to take it. Because if they're pounding the paint, you might as well take the wide open shot than drive into the hoop. But, I mean, he takes threes just to take threes sometimes. Those ones need to stop. Like, if he's, like, in the offense and he gets the ball and it's like he's pulling up and, like, the defense doesn't collapse and it's just like you're there, pull up, take the shot. But, like, when you're running down the court and then you as soon as you cross half court, you're throwing up your shot, it's like, okay, don't do that. Like, let's not – like – Let's stop that. Put your head down, get to the basket. What is going on, the Golden Eagle? I appreciate you. What is up? What is up? I appreciate you. I'll be streaming on As It Stands soon. I really wanted to need to get the watch time, and I need to get to 1,000 subs here on this channel. So I'll definitely be over there soon, trying to do that again. I really want to get this channel monetized so I can have access to all the cool stuff that you get with it. So again, anybody here, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. I am 200 subs away. That would be beautiful. That would be awesome. Probably go for about another 30 minutes and then I'm going to skate out of here. But other than that, people forget that when the original Dwight Howard trade went down and it didn't happen till August 10th, it's still in July. Exactly. And I've been preaching the same thing. I keep saying, like, we have a month and a half before the training camp begins. So you have a long time for this stuff to work. I mean, even more recent. I mean, the James Harden trade was talked about for like 2 months before that happened. Like trades take time. Things take time. Teams want to go back and forth. Teams want to wait, see what happens. It's just the last thing you want to do if you're the Nets is, trade Kyrie. As soon as it's official, it's official. Like there's no more leverage. There's no more nothing. There's no more hope somebody's coming out of the woodworks. Neither side lose anything right now by just being patient and just riding it out. Right now it's a blinking match. And it's who's the first one to blink. That's the thing. And it's just like, neither team need to rush. That's why we keep hearing reports from like Woj and stuff where it's like neither side are desperate to get the deal done because you have a month and a half to get it done. And who knows what else develops. Between now and then, anything could happen. So it's like let's just ride it out and see. Finally, someone speaking the truth. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. Really appreciate you. Everyone is so media-minded and robotic. Thanks for the truth. Well, thank you. I do. I appreciate you. Hey, look, whether I'm right or wrong, you're always going to get honesty and my honest opinion and my honest outlook and thoughts. I just don't know any other way. I feel like it's my obligation as a creator to, give my best take. Be honest, be real, be everything. Westbrook is not a superstar anymore. Decent player, but not a superstar. I mean, I can get on board with that. I mean, I still think he's a star. I think he still has like if he goes to the Knicks, some Knicks fans might not like him, but he'll put butts in the seats. Like that's a star. If depending on the team he goes to, like people would want to see him. People want to see him play. People love Westbrook. I mean, all of this. The problem is he went to the Lakers, and you're talking a whole nother spotlight. You're talking everything. Like when he was with the Wizards the year prior, everyone was just praising Westbrook. Outside of Skip Bayless, but outside of him, like everyone just talked about how great Westbrook was and how he figured it out with Bradley Beal, and like they went on like a 12-game winning streak or something like that. It was like wow, only Robert Horry can do a little in three quarters, explode to the fourth. Sicily, yeah, exactly, yeah. But he was also a shooter. Do you think LeBron will sign an extension in August if the Lakers don't make any moves from here and then? So personally, Victor, I don't think LeBron was going to sign an extension regardless. I just think that was just kind of like a leverage play. It's like, well, hey, you do this because, I just think LeBron, because he doesn't know how many years he's going to play, and his son becomes available in 5 years, or not 5 years, in 2 years. I meant to say 2025. I don't think he leaves the Lakers unless he goes to play with his son, or he decides I'm going to retire and go retire as a Cav. So I think he got at least 2 or 3 more years with LeBron James, which means he's going to sign 1-for-1 deals here on out. That's just my opinion, and I could be completely wrong, but I just that's kind of how I look at it. As it stands, Lakers should take on Westbrook is too logical for this drama queen chat. Well, thank you, Figure. I appreciate you. Try to put some thought in what I got. Wesley Matthews, what is up? How you doing? I wouldn't say AD is way over. When Anthony Davis is healthy and when Anthony Davis is like fully committed and bought in, that guy's a top 5 player in the league. That dude is ridiculous. Like people really undervalue AD. Lakers are stupid. Well, thank you so much for being a part of a Lakers live stream. So I don't know. It was stupid. The one that came to a Lakers live stream or the one that left to come. You got to love the internet, right? The internet is amazing. So, okay, let me get this straight. So you think paying Westbrook to sit at home and do nothing rather than giving it like a month or two to kind of figure it out would be better? Like if they're going to still lose those games regardless, why not just let Westbrook play and see what happens? I just don't see any reason not to. I mean, assuming worst case scenario, push comes to shove. Kyrie will be a Laker this season. I believe so too. I really do. And like I said, I could be completely wrong, but I believe he will be. I believe he will. Clickbait in a live stream. Again, you gotta love the internet. Only way Kyrie doesn't get traded is if KD is back and he wants 11 back. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a possibility, but here's the thing. I don't believe for a second KD and Kyrie didn't talk before everything unfolded, because like even the report that the KD report, right? The New York Post one, great example, right? Oh, Kyrie never requested a trade. Like if you go actually read that report and you don't just read the headline, that was the biggest bunch of nonsense I've ever seen in my life. The report says that it's first off, it's an anonymous source that doesn't want to be named. It's from the New York Post, and then it says that basically, to summarize, that the media were the ones that came up with the trade. That they don't know where the Kyrie trade came from. That he never wanted to be traded. He never formally requested a trade. None of that, right? But it completely negates the fact that the trades, the conversation started before he opted in. Like, the whole thing was like, if he didn't want to be a net, why did he opt in? That's the dumbest excuse I've ever. I don't know. Maybe so he doesn't lose $30 million, because the only other option is to go to Lakers and sign for $6 million. The article completely negates, and a lot of these things like completely negate the facts and are like, oh, it never happened. I don't believe for a second that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving didn't sit down and have a discussion. Might have not have been in person, but over the phone, whatever, and just said, what are you doing, man? And Kyrie was probably like, I'm opted in and requesting a trade. And Kevin Durant said, okay, I'll do the same. Because as soon as Kyrie Irving signed, like an hour later, Kevin Durant requested a trade. I don't think that happens unless it was coordinated to some degree. At least that's just me. Again, I could be wrong. The Western Conference is too strong just for Anthony Davis and LeBron James. I do agree with that, but you always have the puncher's chance. You know what I mean? Like, nobody in the West has an answer for Davis. And the question is, does LeBron have another historic playoff run in him? Again, I don't think they're a contender, but I'd at least give them a puncher's chance. What else we got? If LeBron sacrifices scoring and defends better and rebounds more, Lakers are in the mix. Yes, very true. Very true. I just think he wanted to get close to Kareem. He wants to be that number one scorer. And now he's in a position to where he only needs to average I think it's 12 or 15 a game the rest of the season to actually make that happen. Yeah, the Charlotte game. Okay, thank you. I saw somebody else mention this too. I'd love to see Kyrie in purple and gold. I would too. I really do think it's a matter of when, not if. I do. The Nets do not want Kyrie on the team. Nets either trade Kyrie to the Lakers or they will buy Kyrie out. Yeah, but the Nets that would be the worst thing in the world if they're the Nets, because then Kyrie could just sign with the Lakers for a vet minimum, and that would be the worst thing in the world for them. I just think no matter how you shake it, he's going to get traded to the Lakers, because at that point it's better to just get a first round back than nothing, So I just think that ultimately that's probably what's going to happen. Sooner or later, it's going to happen. Pick up Eric Bledsoe. I think he can help him. The problem is we just have so many guards. Same thing with the Dennis Schroder thing. If we end up doing a trade where it's we give up THT and Kendrick Nunn and we ship him for a Buddy Hield or something, and you're talking 2 or 3 for 1 swaps, then at that point, Eric Bledsoe, Dennis Schroder, something like that. Yeah, I think he'd be a lot more effective. If Russ can focus more defense, hustling, setting screens, diving and scoring, and only taking corner threes, Lakers in the mix, LeBron and Russ have to sacrifice. I agree with that, 100%. And I mean, before all the Kyrie drama happened, he was very he was very open about that. He was very supportive. He seemed to buy it. Darvin Ham was very hey, this is what we're gonna do. That, this, that, and the other. And so they seem to be on the same page. But while LeBron is third wheel to Kyrie and always hurt AD, I mean, he's not, but I think he would be. I do. I think it would be in his best interest too, because you don't want him to exert himself. Did you see the pic of Kyrie had some really across his figure? There's a lot of pics that are out there. The other thing, so to put things in perspective, again, it's not confirmation, but Kyrie did an interview with Trenches Basketball. They did a Kyrie Irving interview, and in that interview, he's wearing a Lakers shirt. Kyrie Irving tells people at the Sparks game he's going to Lakers. I mean, all of this stuff. It's just there's signs all over the place. I agree, 100%. Lakers need to give Swider a chance. He should take a step back if he is not the best player. The problem is LeBron is the best on that team. I agree. I do think he is the best. But in an 82-game season,
it's okay to take a step back. Like I said, LeBron's still going to get his 20 a game. He's too good to not, and he's too intelligent. He knows how the game works. He's going to get his 20 points a game. But if you're Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, LeBron's best interest is kind of just let them have the workload, let them get in the rhythm, let them do that, and then come playoff times, then LeBron, if he needs to be heroic, LeBron can be heroic LeBron. It's just keeping LeBron healthy come playoff time. I don't know. I would make an argument. No, LeBron is definitely top 5 in my opinion. You can make an argument. Anthony Davis healthy is a top 5 guy in the league. Maybe at worst top 7. It just depends on which Anthony Davis shows up. What else we got? Did Melo stay? No. So there's been nothing on Melo so far. I wouldn't mind them bringing him back as a shooter. Like I would rather have Melo than Eric Gordon. And you don't have to give up assets to get Eric to keep Melo. I mean, Melo because the only reason you're going to get Eric Gordon is just for a 3-point shooter. That's basically what Carmelo Anthony was last year. Like I would personally, I'd rather them just do that than not. What else we got? Very, very valid points, my guy. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you. Yes, I think if we could get Irving and Hield, that's a home run. Like absolutely. I think like that is best case scenario. On LeBron, I never once on LeBron. I got to be careful what I say. We're on a live stream. But yeah, I've never once. I'm not saying LeBron is the 3rd best player on the Lakers. I'm saying from his perspective, being 38 years old, being the best ball handler at that point, being the point guard, I just think that he's that. LeBron, I never once talked about it. I think LeBron is still top 5 in the league, hands down. There's, what else? They should throw the 2 first-round picks. Either way, you basically still get Kyrie at a discount because he's worth more than that. Yeah, but I mean, like I said, right now the only person they have negotiate against is themselves. And that is always an option. That option isn't going anywhere, right? We got that other pick in our back pocket. We can always extend that. So I just think they're being smart, patient because right now it's a staring game. Who's going to blink first is basically what it is. Buy out his contract to get Kyrie. I don't think that they would buy it because I mean at that point you might as well just take the 1 pick. I think Scottie Jr. will end up running the starting point guard if we move off of Russ. I mean it's possible. If we move off of Russ, very likely it's probably going to be for Kyrie because the Lakers aren't going to want to take back salary, right? Because you want to be able to sign Kyrie next year, and you don't want to mess up your salary cap to not be able to do that. And I just think you have right now you have so many guards on your team. I just think you're better off going with Kendrick Nunn at that point because at least he's proven he was a starting point guard for a championship or a finals team in Miami. I just think that that's what it is. LeBron can go anywhere he wants. I don't know. I don't know. So that's what you're talking about. LeBron can go back home to Cleveland, but who is Cleveland trading though? Like it's not even talking bad about LeBron. I still think LeBron is a top 5 player, but if we're being real here, he would be 39 years old. He's not going to take a vet minimum contract. All the teams that would have the salary to sign him, he's not going to want to go to. He's not going to want to go to Detroit. He's going to want to go to a team that either helps him win or he can continue to grow his brand. So it's like, where is he going to go that could be? And like, what teams are going to trade a bunch of assets for LeBron James at 39 years old? I don't see it happening. I don't. It has nothing to do with LeBron. It's just he's 39 years old. What happens if you trade a bunch of assets and that year the wheels fall off? Like now you're in trouble. It's just it's not any hate with LeBron. It's just being real. It's the facts. I mean, the facts are the facts. LeBron is going to be 39 years old at that point. Like who's gonna offer him a long-term max deal other than the Lakers? Because the Lakers did it for Kobe, right? So he knows the Lakers will offer him long-term money. So who's going to offer him a max deal? Who's going to offer him a max deal in a place he wants to be in? And
even other than that, who's going to trade a bunch of assets to get LeBron James? You know, like that's the thing. You know, and the Lakers, if LeBron wants to leave, they're not going to take a bunch of bad contracts because they're going to need to make it work. Yeah, there's probably a ton of teams that would want LeBron, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be able to happen or that he's going to want to go there. There's only a handful of teams that he probably would want to go to, and they're not going to be able to sign him. Yeah, but you don't want to give up all your assets for the future. You know, like I said, the Cavs, like who do they trade? You know, like who are they going to give up that to get that? You know, and I know some of you might be thinking like, well, you know, like get whatever you can get for LeBron. You might as well. Yeah, but they're not going to want to take on long-term deals that aren't beneficial. You know, like maybe if you could get like a Colin Sexton or something, you know, because they're kind of like, we didn't really want him anyway. We signed him. I mean, he still hasn't even signed with the Cavs yet, but let's say that deal gets done. You know, maybe you do something like that. I mean, cool. You get a young guy that maybe has some promise. Maybe the Lakers would do that. But I mean, in reality, it's like how many teams would actually want to trade for him? Like, who is Miami going to give up for him? You know, at 39 years old, like you got to look at the whole scope, not just the player LeBron. You know, like there's a lot of things that go into it. If we don't trade Russ or Westbrook, our Lakers are screwed. I do think he gets traded regardless, but like I was mentioning earlier, our worst case scenario, if we keep him, I don't think it's the end of the world. But I just think at this point the bridge has been burnt. You're better off trading him at this point. Yeah, I think that's likely the only way. It's either he goes to go play with his son or he goes to retire at Cavs. Where is he going? The Cavs and Heat. Again, where are they going to go? Neither team can sign him. Neither team would have the salary cap to sign him. So who are they going to trade? Are the Heat really going to trade a young Tyler Hero for a 39-year-old LeBron James? I mean, maybe if the Lakers could, then great. That's a pickup for the Lakers. Why not? You know, but in reality, I just don't see people doing that. May go get his buddy a ring. But again, like they can't sign. They don't have the salary to sign him. I mean, if LeBron left, probably LeBron would still get a pretty good return if that happens. If stars will always go to LA, why is Ginny holding on to those 2027, 2029 draft picks? I don't think it's that they don't want to trade them. They like you hear all the reports like the Lakers want to get Buddy Hield and they want to get Kyrie Irving. You can't do both without it. You know, like you need those picks to be able to do both. I think the Lakers are trying to double dip at this point, and there's no reason not to. But even then, like as soon as you get rid of those assets, that's it. Trade. But as long as you have those assets, who knows? Like we see in the NBA is a constant, things changing constantly. If you have those assets, like if you give up those assets in the Kyrie trade, and let's say something happens. Let's say Kyrie doesn't want to be there. He changes his mind. Or, which is Kyrie Irving. That sounds like Kyrie Irving didn't do. Or he just doesn't re-sign. Or, a multitude of reasons. LeBron James just falls off a cliff because he's 38 years old, or whatever. It's just a total disaster, whatever. Like, now at least you'd have a first round to go get something else and try to maybe retool a little bit. Or, if you don't trade it, like it's not like the Lakers are like, man, like our picks are going to be really good in 5 years. Like the Lakers aren't looking at like in 5 years, we're going to be terrible. So we should save those picks. It's who knows what is going to develop. So why would we give up all of our assets to get a guy that we likely can get regardless and keep our assets and then save them? Because the closer we get, the more valuable they'll get. Right now they're not as highly valuable because you don't know where the Lakers are going to be for 5 years. In 5 years, the Lakers could have 3 superstars on their team and win 3 championships. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you don't know. We don't know. Or they could be a bottom dwelling team and the worst team in the league. And it's like maybe those picks are worth a fortune at that point. So it's just like you don't lose anything by not trading them. Do you think LeBron will sign an extension if Kyrie comes to LA? I mean, I don't think he signs an extension regardless, but I do think he might likely signs like a 2-year deal rather than like a 1-for-1. Like I think if Kyrie I think very likely, like if Kyrie comes, he'll sign like a 2-year deal, or maybe he does like an extension for 2 years, something like that. Maybe something like that could happen. What else we got? I don't really get the bubble ring argument. A championship is championship. Facts. I'm with you, Austin. 100%. Yes, I'm actually really looking forward to these two guys, especially because the Lakers told Gabriel, like, you need to go work on your shot this offseason. So if winning Gabriel can improve from the 3-point line, that would be great. What else we got? Don't forget how they manipulated it to delay the tournament until some teams got healthy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot that goes into that. Like, people like to undervalue that championship. But like I said, anybody that was there, they all talked about how hard it was, how difficult it was. What's tougher, playing in front of TV screens or on the road in front of 20K fans? But I think personally, from an athlete perspective, playing in front of TV screens, because I mean, when you're on the road, those fans give you power. Those fans, these, like, you think LeBron James doesn't want to shut the crowd up? Of course, like that is so easy. Like the live fan thing, and that was a big complaint that a lot of people had. Like, not having fans was tough. It was different. It was challenging. It was difficult. Julius Randle and Rose to LA for Westbrook. I don't think Julius Randle makes no sense for the Lakers because, one, he's a long-term contract that he's just about to get into for 4 years. Two, like, you have nothing but bigs on your team. So it's just like like, you're basically paying that guy all the money to come off the bench. And then, I mean, Derrick Rose would be a nice pickup. I think if the Lakers do the deal, they're going to change. Like, some of those players are going to get allocated elsewhere. I think that's most likely what happens. What else we got? 7 Day Sports Podcast coming your way. Yeah, I'm trying to get. I mean, I'll always stream on this channel too, but I probably won't be able to do every day like I have here. Plus, I got As It Stands, which I need to stream on. I haven't streamed in a while, just because I want to get this channel to 1,000. And every time I stream, I get a pretty fair amount of subs. So trying to get to 1,000. I'm 180 away now. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like this video as well. But yeah, I do. I'm like, let's get this to 1,000 subs. And the easiest way to do that is to do these live streams. Not just that, but even the watch time. Somebody watches this whole stream, there's an hour. You got to get like all those hours. So that's the whole point. And thank you all so much. I see you all saying you just subscribed. I really appreciate all of you. Everybody that subscribed, all of you that are just here. Roy, thank you all so much. Anybody that's just here, just hanging out and stuff. I do. I really appreciate all of you taking the time to just hang out with me and have these actual like moments and stuff. And subscribing, being a part of it, all of that. Thank you all. What else we got? Oh, no. Sorry. Give me 1 second. It just refreshed. Oh, no. I have no idea where I'm at. So we're just going to take it from here, where it's at. Sorry, I may have missed a couple comments. Oh, no, I don't think so. I don't know. I may have missed some of you. If I did, my apologies. That'll be another thing, too, once I get monetization. It'll be easier to navigate the comments and stuff. Swider needs to improve on defense. Absolutely. But you're not, if he were to play, you're putting him in to just kind of be there, right? He's just in there to be a 3-point shooter, nothing else. It's not like Buddy Hield is lockdown defender. Buddy Hield doesn't even try at times, and same thing with Eric Gordon, Thank you so much, Campbell. I appreciate you all the way from Australia. Thank you. I am too. I am Jamal Murray. I think the Nuggets could be pretty nice. No, the trade isn't anywhere close to being over. Why go that way again? I agree. So, like, from a Schroder thing, but I think it just depends on what Schroder you're getting. Right now, it makes no sense. We have too many guards. Like, there's no reason we would want to go and trade for or not trade, but sign another guard. It just makes no sense at this point. But if we did a deal where, like I said, we give up THT, we give up Kendrick Nunn, you get back, and it's like, okay, well, we could use another guard. It depends on what Schroder you're getting. If you're getting the last time Schroder was in LA where he thought he was a star and, I'm the starting point guard and I'm this, that, and the other. I'm a max deal guy. You're going to give me $120 million a year. All of that noise that we saw. If he's that guy, keep him as far away from the Lakers as possible. But if he's a guy that comes in and humbled himself because he realized that he messed up, he's willing to come off the bench. He's willing to, do the gritty work, play defense, orchestrate the offense, be the guy, give me 10 to 15 points a game. If he's a guy that'll buy in, I think he's worth a shot, especially at a vet minimum, low risk, high reward kind of guy. But I just think it depends on which one you get, which Schroder is going to be on the team. Knicks are going to send LA's draft picks to Utah in the Mitchell trade. For what? You talk about if the Lakers do the trade for Westbrook? I don't think so. There would be no draft picks. If the Knicks trade ever does happen for like Randall, Fournier, and stuff like that, it's very likely that the Knicks are the ones giving up draft picks. Because we're doing them the favor. Like the only way I think that deal gets done is if the Nets agree that they want like a Derrick Rose and Julius Randle, and we could get another draft pick. Otherwise, why would the Lakers take on a brand new fresh 4-year deal of Julius Randle and 3 years of Evan Fournier and then Derrick Rose? Derrick Rose is probably the only like real valuable piece there that they could probably use to go get something else. Like that's not gonna happen. Yeah, exactly. Right now we have too many guards. It doesn't make any sense right now. Why is everyone putting this all on Westbrook, LeBron, and AD? Had a bad year as well. I mean, yeah, it's not all on Westbrook. It's not. It's like it was. I mean, he's not completely at fault, but it was a collective effort everywhere, from the coach to the players to we were just too old. Like it was about as big of a disaster as it gets, And the coach did, like I said, the coach did Westbrook no favors. Like I went on this little rant earlier. I'll do it again. But I mean, how many times, or shorten it this time at least, how many times do we see Westbrook, LeBron, and Rondo on the court? How many times do we see for extended periods? How many times do we see LeBron, Westbrook, and THT on the court for extended periods? That is terrible coaching. They are the exact same players. The whole reason the Lakers went and got Russell Westbrook was to alleviate LeBron. Why would you have LeBron and Westbrook playing a majority of the minutes together? And then even then, you don't run any plays or nothing for Westbrook to get in rhythm, to get engaged, all that stuff. Like, yes, the missed layups and shot chucking and all that stuff drove me crazy too. But like I said, there's a reason players do warm-ups, need to get in rhythm, need to get touches, all this stuff, because you need to develop that flow. You can't just sit in a corner for 20 minutes and not do nothing but be a spot-up shooter, and then now it's like, okay, I need you to go get me 20. Like, you can't just go from 0 to 100. Maybe Russ at age 22 could have, but he's older now. He's on just adrenaline, athleticism, all of that stuff. It's just the whole reason they got Westbrook. They never even attempted to try to use him in that way. I really believe if you have Westbrook and you start Westbrook and LeBron and AD, got to start them, keep them happy. You sub out LeBron 5 minutes in and you just go, look, you got 5 minutes to just go off and be Russell Westbrook. And you do that every quarter. I believe you would see an incredible Russell Westbrook. I think you'd see a Russell Westbrook that would get you, 28-8 every game. Because if it's just the Russell Westbrook show, I think that'd be beautiful. Here you go. So you basically play Westbrook as if he's the sixth man off the bench. They didn't do that last year. The only time he played in that role was when LeBron and Anthony Davis just didn't play. And we saw him do good. If we have Westbrook here, it is Bron is gone. Pelinka will blown out of the front office. Clippers will dominate LA from now. I don't know about all of that, but you still get Kyrie next year, and I think if Kyrie wants to come, LeBron ain't going to leave. LeBron, Kyrie, and Anthony Davis,
he's like, where else are you going to go that you're going to get better than that without blowing up the team? How much good years left in the tank? I say this is last year, the best chance of getting this fifth ring. I give him at least 2 or 3 more years just because of the type of player we saw last year. And he takes just impeccable care of his body, all that stuff. I mean, this is unprecedented, right? I mean, we're already on like unprecedented territory where somebody is, about to be 38 years old and top 5 in the league. Like that's insane to me. But I think he's got at least this year and next year before we start seeing a decline. I think once he starts getting into his 40s, that's when we'll really start seeing a decline. Like, okay, like he's starting to become just a role guy. But I mean, LeBron James, with his size, the way he takes care of his body, his mind, and just how good he is, he could probably play till he's like 50. Like, and I know that sounds stupid, but seriously, like he could be just like he could develop into just like that point guard role. It's just can his body hold up once he's 44, 45, stuff like that. But like if he passes Kareem all-time scoring and stuff like that, and he's willing to kind of just be like that point guard for a team, I could see him being like on a contender and racking up a bunch of rings, just by being the point guard. I do to an extent. I do. I've always loved Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan both said the closest anyone is to like the mentality of them is Russell Westbrook. That came from out of their mouths. But I do. I think Westbrook is a very specific player. His mentality, his engine, his drive, determination, all of that stuff, like that's what I love about Westbrook. He's a very unique individual in that respect. But he's starting to get older, stuff like that. I mean, I'm not like completely blind and clueless to him. I just think he gets a lot of slack for, stuff that he doesn't really deserve slack for. I don't hate the Randall trade idea. He is a talented player, better than Westbrook on defense, and you could argue better offensively too. Plus younger and not stuck in his ways. Here's the problem: it depends on what Randall we get. If we get Randall from last year, he shot worse than Russell Westbrook from the field and from 3-point range. If we get Randall from 2 years ago, where he was like a 40% 3-point shooter and averaged like, what was it, like 8 or something like that, or 8 and 6, something like that. If we get that guy, yes. Problem is we have too many bigs already. And you're talking 4 years of a guy that you have no consistency for. Because outside of that fluke year, he's kind of been what he was last year. Last year was arguably one of his worst years, but he wasn't that far off. Like if you look at his like year-to-year stats and stuff, he's not that far off. I just don't think that would be the best for that. Two bigs in the paint battling for the boards. Yeah, like I said, the problem is just basically everything I just said without reiterating. The bubble playoffs, like what you're saying with that. The Lakers were the best team. Everybody had the same go around. It's not like the Lakers got special treatment. It's not like the Lakers, they were like, oh, we're gonna put you in with all these people over here. You guys are the Lakers. No, everyone was in the same position, the same bubble, same boat, same everything, and they all had to go through it. And guess what? May do a 1+1. I think that is very likely going to be the case. So, I mean, it's not like a confirmed sign or anything like that, but LeBron like said some tweet or whatever to Schroder. Schroder said basically he wants to run it back, and now that's where this all stem from. See, this is tough. This is a good question. I think right now the team that we have, Gabriel. I really like Huff though. The thing is I think that Gabriel could play more positions of what we need. Where Huff is probably just a center. Maybe he could play power forward, stuff like that. And I really like Huff. I wouldn't be mad at all. Like if tomorrow they said we're releasing Gabriel and bringing on Huff, I wouldn't be upset. But I think
I think just from the standpoint of like where the Lakers are right now, team wise, Gabriel, I think you got to give him a chance. I think you got to give him a shot. Please greet the Filipino viewers from the Philippines. Well, welcome all. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much, all the way from the Philippines. Hello, all. Thank you so much. I really do. I appreciate you hanging out with me, spending some time with me. What else we got? I don't know. I kind of disagree with this because I mean, and everybody in the bubble said it that it was tough to play without fans because you gotta remember like the home team fans, like the teams really buy into that. You know, it gives you adrenaline, gives you momentum, it gets you excited, it pumps you up, all of that stuff. Like it makes guys like there's a reason guys play better at home than they do on the road, and it's that crowd, it's that adrenaline, it's hearing the people cheering you on. When you go from that to like hearing shoes squeak, it's a mental toll. And then from the other side, you know, when you're playing on the road, that atmosphere, that like it's hard to you can't replicate that. Like to have screaming fans calling you every name in the book and just just wanting to rip your head off if they can, like that, like a lot of players that builds them up too. Like it makes it like you think, like I said earlier, you don't think LeBron wants to shut the crowd up? Like of course he does. You think Westbrook doesn't want to just dunk on somebody and just silence the crowd? Of course he does. Idiot. Those articles are all leverage plays. I'm with you. I mean, that's kind of all it is right now. Like all the different stuff we're hearing, it's just that's all it is. I think Durant still wants to be friends with Kyrie, just not teammates. I think so too. I just think Durant sees the writing on the wall, and he's just like, I don't want to do this. Yeah, they're not going to buy out. They're not going to buy out Kyrie. I mean, they're better off just keeping him and sitting him home at that point. Because if you buy him out, he's just going to go sign with the Lakers, and you basically just, here you go. Here's Kyrie for free. Do you think the Lakers only want to give up one draft pick to the Nets, the trade pick for Buddy Hield? That's exactly what I think. That's exactly why I think they haven't pulled the trigger for the 2 first rounds, because I really believe that they're looking at it as like, if we give up both picks, there goes our chance at Buddy Hield. But if we keep a first round pick, we have an opportunity at Buddy Hield. And even if you don't get Buddy Hield, you still have that first to trade later. So I just think that, and like I said, they don't have anyone else to go against. No one else. There's no one else to kind of worry about. What is going on, Marlon? Is Dennis back in the team? So no, they haven't signed him or nothing, but he said he wanted to come back. Basically, that he wanted to run it back, and that's where that whole thing stemmed from. 99 problems, but a YouTube channel ain't one. Hit me. I mean, yeah, I'm still not at 1,000 subs. So once we get to 1,000 subs, then it won't be a problem, right? That's what we need. And we're at, let's see, let's do an update. 838. I appreciate everyone so much that has already subscribed. Thank you all. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to 1,000 subs. We're almost there. We're just grinding away, and I really appreciate it. I'm gonna have to sign off here in a moment. So let's power through some of these questions real quick, and then I'll skate out of here, and then we'll try to do this again tomorrow. What else we got? Sorry, just trying to get through the questions that are back and forth to people. What interview was that with Kyrie? Could you be a little more specific? If you're talking about the one that I mentioned earlier with the New York Post, the New York Post posted an article about Kyrie never demanding a trade. But if you actually go read that article, it makes no sense. It doesn't add up with the stuff that actually happened. And it's from an anonymous source. It's a leverage play. It was the New York Post, the Brooklyn Nets, putting out something to try to gain some leverage. Yes, exactly. A healthy AD and LeBron James, anything can happen. Seriously, I'm with you. He's healthier than most of the guys in the league. Like, if you were here earlier, I listed about like he's played more games than like half of the stars in this league the last 3 years. Yeah, but the problem is that there's only so many. They don't need him for defense and stuff like that. They just want Eric Gordon, Buddy Hield for just purely shooting. We don't have anybody from like right now, currently, we would be dead last in the league in 3-point percentage. LeBron James statistically is our best 3-point shooter from last year. We don't need any more defense. We don't need, I mean, you could always use more defense, but like they want Eric Gordon or, you know, re-sign Carmelo or whatever because they need somebody that can shoot the three and be a guy that's wide open, you know? Oh, the one with Kyrie wearing the shirt. I appreciate that. So just Google what is it? Tretch's basketball league interview. Tretch's basketball league interview. It's been like a month now, but that's because this Kyrie thing has been going on for like a month now. But it was like right when like Kyrie, like the report came out that Kyrie wanted to be a Laker, and it was like, is this true? Is it not? Kyrie did a whole interview in a Laker shirt. Yeah, but it's Tretches, like you're in a trench, like you're in a trenches, basketball league, and then Kyrie Irving interview, and you'll see it. It's like the first one that pops up because it's got the most like views because so everyone were like, oh, Kyrie Irving's wearing a Laker jersey, and so like you could see like you can't see it throughout because he's not like just standing here like me, like just talking. He's like walking around and stuff. But like there's several moments where like you clearly see the shirt and he's wearing a Lakers shirt. What else we got? All right, let's like I said, let's power through some of these. Oh no. Got a lot of comments today. I'm gonna miss some of you, and I'm really sorry. I appreciate you all for being here. Exactly. What other options the Lakers have now? There's not really much. First cops, now this. Oh shit, I'm starred, son. That's a scary movie reference for anybody that doesn't know. See, I caught that. Thank you. If Lakers land Kyrie, do you think Lakers will give him a 4-year extension? I am almost positive that will happen. I don't see the Lakers signing Kyrie and not giving him an extension because I think if they have to trade up assets, they're going to sign him to an extension immediately. And I don't think they're going to want to play games to where Kyrie Irving. You want Kyrie to buy in, right? And it's like fresh start. You got it. You got LeBron. You got this, that, and the other. Come on in. We'll give you the 4-year extension. And not just that, Kyrie's still young enough where him and AD could still be that guy, could still be the guys that carry on after LeBron in 3 years, right? Let's say LeBron leaves, he retires, whatever in 3 years. They're still young enough to where they could still be your duo, and you could now still build around them and kind of retool. So I think if you get a Kyrie that's bought in and a Kyrie that's like on board, you do whatever you can. Let's see. Trying to find a comment to me. Oh, LeBron will sign with whoever wants him as a free agent. You know, you have to actually like, there's like salary rules and stuff, right? Like if LeBron wants to go to the Warriors right now, they can't just sign him. Like unless, like I said, unless LeBron takes a vet minimum, then yeah, LeBron ain't taking a vet minimum. Like it's LeBron James, you know, unless it's like I said, it's his last year or something like that, and he's ready to retire. But he's not like, that's the thing. Like people need to understand like there are salary rules. Teams only have so much money to spend, this, that, and the other. So you'd have to trade. It would have to be a sign and trade, which would hard cap any team that gets him. So how many teams are going to want to do that? And two, you have to match the salaries. So it's just, and it has to be something like LeBron. LeBron's not in a place where it's like, oh, I'm just going to leave. You know, I mean, not saying that he won't go to any teams, but the pool of teams is very limited. I've been with my Lakers in the Showtime era, dark 90s, 3P 2000s, all the way till now and forever. I'm with you. I mean, I'm not old enough to be in the show. I am a student of the sport, believe me, and the student of the Lakers, but I'm not old enough to be in the Showtime era. I am old enough to be in the some of the dark 90s. And then I'm definitely in the 2000s Lakers era. He's a billionaire. I don't think a max deal is that concerning for him at this point in his career. I don't know. I mean, we'll find out next year, right? He himself has said in the past he will never take a pay cut. Things change, teams change, stuff like that. But all right, let's get a couple more questions. Just turned on the stream. Why not give Brooklyn the extra first for Kyrie? I know it's a little much, but still. No, I completely get it. And I think push comes to shove, they will. Like if all else fails and they have to, I think they will. I just think right now, it's like I said, you're the only team. There's nobody else. It's me. That's all I got. This is what I'm willing to give you. The market sets the demand. And the market right now is 1 first round pick, a couple of second picks, probably a pick swap. And Lakers want to keep that other first so they can make another trade. Because as soon as those assets are gone, that's it. There's no more trades. You're stuck with Kyrie and whatever else you get in the deal, and that's your team. But if you can keep one of those first, now you can start looking to explore other options and that. But I do think if push comes to shove, they will end up doing that. Yeah, I agree. LeBron probably could play till he's 45. I mean, we all have, right? I mean, it's just like it's not a slight to LeBron. I mean, it's just incredible. It's like every year, it's like, man, like dude's 36, 37, like, and he's still top 5 in the league. I mean, to be that is incredible. I mean, seriously. Like if he was just like, an average player now or something like that, it's like, okay, I could see that. That's like that. Like if he was like a contributor on a team, that would be impressive. But for him to be like top 5 in the league as a a 38, it's man. And that's why I tell people, man, you got to appreciate greatness while it's there. Whether you are a LeBron fan or not, whether you like LeBron, we might never see something like this again. Like this is unprecedented. You're talking about history in the making. You're talking about once in a generational talent. Like that doesn't happen very often. Like we could all be dead before the next like LeBron type guy comes in the league. When do you see a trade? I mean, originally I saw the trade coming yesterday or today. For being honest, I thought it would be done yesterday or today. But I still think probably by the end of the month. That was my original guess. My original guess was the end of this month. It'll probably be done. And then we got like the Vegas news and stuff like that. And I was like, that sounds legit. So that's why I was kind of like, okay, after the 17th makes a lot of sense. But at this point, I was wrong on the 18th. And well, I mean, technically it could still happen today. So maybe I won't be wrong on the 19th. But I said the 18th or 19th once we got the Vegas news. But originally, like if you go back and look at like my first like video, I said by the end of July, which I still think that that's probably the case. Still could very well be. I mean, it very well could be. We don't know. I mean, until pen is to paper, we won't know. But that doesn't mean it's not agreed upon. I mean, there's lots of deals that were agreed upon, and then it takes a while. It takes a couple of weeks. Somebody, great example. Somebody mentioned the Dwight Howard deal, right? That like, they had it worked out, and it didn't happen until August, and they had that deal worked out for like a month. Stuff like that. What else we got? Let's do like 3 or 4 more questions if I can pound them out quick, and then I gotta get out of here. Let's see. Yes, plenty of time for trades until training camp. That's why there's no need to rush for anybody. Who are the Lakers trading to get Kyrie? Most likely it's going to be Westbrook going somewhere, whether it's a third team, something like that. And then they'll probably give up a first. I think the deal will end up likely looking somewhere along the lines of like first round pick swap, maybe like 1 or 2 seconds. So you're basically getting 2 seconds, 2 firsts, and then Westbrook, and then they'll probably take back like Joe Harris, maybe Seth Curry. Maybe you can get that in the deal if you give up like the pick swap or something, and then
Kyrie Irving is likely what the deal will be entailed. I think it'll be something along those lines. Not so you do unless it's to the New York Knicks trade. And that's why I think the New York Knicks trade, you're very likely getting a first round pick in the Knicks deal if the Knicks go and get Westbrook, if the Knicks end up trading for Westbrook. Just because, one, the Lakers would be doing a huge favor to the Knicks by taking on all those bad salaries. Two, you're also helping the Knicks because they need the salary cap to re-sign RJ Barrett and go get other guys to put around Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson. So that's another reason. So it's just to say the Nets would be in the position the Lakers are in now, where we need to unload Westbrook. We're willing to give up a first to do that. The Knicks would be like, we're willing to give up. We need to unload Randall and Fournier. We're willing to give up a first to do that. It doesn't necessarily have to be one of the Knicks' first round picks because the Knicks have like 22 picks over the next, 5 years or whatever it is. But the Lakers will likely get a first in that deal. And that's why I think the Knicks may be the key to the Lakers getting Kyrie Irving. Every team wanted to win the bubble championship. Absolutely. 100%. People try to, but here's the thing. Like I said it earlier. If any other franchise won the bubble championship, this would not be a discussion. It's because it's the Lakers. People hate it. People hate it. What else we got? Let's see. What did I miss? Well, depending on when you got here, a lot. We're 2 hours in, so what else we got? On time delay, gonna listen now. I appreciate it. Your channel is going to be big, bro. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I mean, my As It Stands channel, I mean, that I got like 4,000 subs. Like the other channel that I have, for those that don't know, I do have my main channel is As It Stands. I'm a Laker fan. I was like, I should start As It Stands Lakers because I talk about like a little bit of everything over there. Yeah, that channel, like I was like 250 subs like a month and a half ago on that channel. That channel took off. I'm very blessed, very thankful. But this channel, I mean, it's doing well too. I mean, we're at 844. I need to, like I said, I need to get to 1,000. Once we get to 1,000, then the ball can start rolling. That's like the illustrious number. Like that's the goal. So anybody that's not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot. And if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. I do. It really means a ton to me. And trying to make this a thing, right? That's the thing. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really do. All right, let's do more here. Because I'm never going to be able to catch up. Let's see. I find it hilarious that everyone wants to bash Westbrook, but nobody wants to hold LeBron James accountable. I mean, it was LeBron James who wanted Westbrook. I mean, I brought up that point too. It wasn't just one player. It was a combination of several factors that went into that, from the coach to LeBron to Davis to just everything. Should Rob Pelinka be fired if the Lakers don't make it to at least the Western Conference Finals this coming season? I don't think so. I mean, Rob, a lot of people talk trash about Rob Pelinka, but he's done a good job. I mean, he put together a team that won a championship. The next year, he upgraded just about every position. The problem with Rob Pelinka, it's like, what have you done for me lately? And it's recency bias. Like the year after the Lakers won the championship, they got both 6 men of the year. They added all these pieces. Everybody was talking and praising Rob Pelinka. We were favored to win the championship. The league voted Lakers most upgraded. The league voted Lakers the absolute favorite. The league voted Rob Pelinka as like this mastermind GM, that he should have won GM of the year and all that stuff. And we were an Anthony Davis injury away from very likely beating the Suns and being in the finals again. We've had one really bad year. Outside of that, we've been good. And that's not, I mean, it's not Rob Pelinka's fault. I mean, you could argue that he should have, maybe said no, but every team folded to LeBron. And when LeBron James and Anthony Davis come to you and say, hey, we want Russell Westbrook, what is Rob supposed to do? No, too bad. I mean, yeah, you could say that, but
you want to keep your stars happy, especially, LeBron's contract's coming up, stuff like that. You want to keep them here. I don't blame Rob for that. I don't. Because LeBron wanted it. LeBron and Davis and Westbrook sat down. They had the discussion. We'll do whatever it takes. It works. And that's what ended up happening. It's like, you got to live with it. Rob's just the GM, so he's the scapegoat. But he had the deal he had Buddy Hield ready to go. It was done. It was a done deal. And then he spurned the Knicks. DeMar DeRozan himself said, I thought I was signing with the Lakers. Like, all of that. And then, no, they wanted Westbrook instead. So, can't blame him. What else we got? Laker fans shouldn't get all defensive. Y'all are the ones that most storied franchise you have the banners bubble just counts less than the others. See, I don't agree with the bubble counting less than the others. Like I said, every single player that was in that bubble all talked about how difficult it was. And a lot of people try to undermine that. But like, who are we going to listen to? The people that actually lived through it, and the people that actually were a part of it, and the people that actually played in it, or people giving their opinions on the internet. I'm not saying that we should all just not give our opinions, but there's just some validation when like I said, the Clippers and several other teams just wanted to quit. Like, they didn't want to be there because of just the mental toll and stuff like that, being away from your family, not being home, all that stuff. But yeah, turnovers definitely didn't help Westbrook. I agree with you. I mean, like I said, he's not completely without fault. I just think he's just became the scapegoat. Like, a lot of people act like, oh, if Westbrook wasn't on the team, we would have won a championship. And that's just not the truth. But anyway, I'm going to skate out of here. We're 2 hours and 2 minutes in. I appreciate you all for hanging out. We'll try to do this again tomorrow. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. It means a lot, trying to get to 1,000 subs. And I'd really appreciate every single person that is not subscribed to subscribe. If you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. It really does help out. After the stream is over, people watch it. YouTube puts it out in their grand algorithm, all that stuff. I appreciate all of you hanging out with me, having these discussions and conversations. You're all awesome. I will see you all